What's going on, everybody? What's up, America? I apologize for the video being a little bit dark, but it don't really matter what I look like. It don't really matter who I am. I guess it don't even really matter what the fuck I got to say. That's what it's all boiling down to these days. Do you matter? Has your existence out here made a fucking difference to anybody? Now, I know by the tone that I'm coming off with, it may sound a tad bit negative. Well, that's because after 40 years of walking around on this fucking mud ball, you know, being black, also being white, you know, being of a mixed breed, you always in that in between shit. You know, is you black enough? Is you white enough? You know, are you nigga enough? Is you honky enough? You know, are you smart enough? Are you good enough? It's questions that we ask ourselves every day as light skinned brothers. You know, dark niggas don't have to worry about that. Straight white boys don't have to worry about that. You know who you are, right? You know, because this world, we all classify each other damn near by the color of our skin. Now, is this about be some racist ass rant? Nah, it ain't. It ain't. It's just one of the little things that I guess I think about sometimes on a daily basis when being judged, when being viewed, when people decide to become overly opinionated. You know, these things come up. You see the undertone in it. You know, you ask yourself, is this their ignorance? Is this your lack of understanding? You know, it'll put you in a position where you start to question your fucking self. Well, after 40 years of being out here, I'm over that questioning of self shit. You know, I'm done with the who's right and the who's wrong shit. Truthfully, I'm really all about some peaceful shit. I don't want no problems with nobody. You know what I mean? I don't also have that need to be liked by everybody though either. Truthfully, I could really give a shit, to be honest with you. You know, I go on my daily existence every day. Same grind. I work. I pay my motherfucking taxes, even though I don't want to. I guess in some later videos, I'll get into a little bit more back history about myself. This is my first video log. I don't know if I already mentioned that shit already. You know, I guess back in the day, you know, young people would sit down and, you know, they make a diary or a journal of their movements out here. You know, something that you could go back into and look back to and say, you know, damn, I can't believe I used to think that way, or damn, this shit happened that day, and you know, and then when you get older, you can be like, damn, well, when that shit happened that day, you know, if you're really deep enough, you can be like, damn, that changed the whole course of my movements. Some of us just like to look back at it for nostalgic purposes, but nowadays we have this whole YouTube shit, videographies. We have, you know, the internet and all that other shit, you know. And I guess I came through at a blessed time, being born in 75, coming through in the 80s and the 90s, the age of technology, Generation X all day. You know, the unwanted motherfuckers, the unknown motherfuckers. You know, now we got this spot now where we can be known at. Now we got this where we can sit back and take these little fucking self-absorbed videos of ourselves to help put our story out there. You know, you gotta love MTV and giving us the real world, because boy, that opened the fucking floodgates, didn't it? You know, it showed you that you can have your 15 minutes of fame for as ratchet as you can fucking be. So nowadays, it doesn't even matter what you post out here online. People are gonna view it. They're gonna look at this shit. Somebody else is gonna identify with your bullshit. That's what it comes down to. I can't believe how, you know, I talk with different family members and they get all upset on, oh, you didn't like my post. You didn't make a comment on my post. Like your whole fucking world is crushed behind it. Let me tell you something. Where I'm from, the way we do things, if I like you, if I got something to say in regards to a comment, it's done face to face, eye to eye, man to man, if you want to call it, man to woman, however you want to fucking flip it. You know, and I just think that we lost that part of ourselves, you know, with this fake shit that's going on. That's kind of where I chose to do my video. I didn't put the bright lights all behind it, so I can see his face real good, and I can really identify with this guy, and I don't give a fuck what you can identify with. I don't give a shit if you know my face. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't give a shit whose face you know. What? At the end of the day, what it boils down to, now I know this may go a little bit far off subject, but this is my rant. You know what I'm saying? This is the way that my mind flows. You know? So I go from here, there, and back around. It don't matter with me, you know? Anybody that knows me, the ones that love me and this and that, they know how I get down. But my shit is like, what are you really doing that matters? Does your opinion matter? Do you have some sort of personal goal? You know, what are you doing for somebody else out here? Are you helping anybody? I think I wanted to start doing this video shit to see if maybe I could help somebody with what I say. Maybe I could help somebody with some of the experiences that I've been through. Maybe somebody can identify with me. And for that, yeah, the internet can be good. Can help out. You may stop somebody from jumping that day. You may encourage somebody else to go ahead and fucking jump. Stop being a bitch. You know what I mean? Not that the shit is funny, but some people's at the end of their rope. Maybe what you had to say that day made them reflect back on the time period that was earlier when it was good in their life. Now, let's not get things misconstrued. Let's not look at this like, oh, well, seems like this gentleman is troubled. He's talking about some dark times. Some of the things might be a little negative. Well, you know what? That's the reality of the situation. It's all how you decide to paint your picture. I came across some interesting shit the other day. You know, like I said, I keep it random. I came across some interesting shit. I watched a watched a Joe Rogan video, Fear Factor guy, as he likes to say. And the shit was about mushrooms, right? About if everybody fell back and they had these little camps and shit like that where everybody pop off a couple mushrooms, there'd be a lot more love in the world, you know? And I'm sitting there like, well, you know what? I'm listening to it. At first, I thought that the idea was fucking crazy. It's almost sounding like you were influencing people to do hallucinogenics to open up. And I'm like, well, like I said, I've been around for a little bit. I ate mushrooms already back in my early 20s. And you know what? He had a point. I had a great time. It was actually phenomenal. When I watched the video and I thought about it and I looked back on it, I was like, you know what? I did have a good time when I did that shit. Was it dangerous as fuck? Yeah. Probably wasn't too smart for me to hop behind the wheel about 4 hours later after eating them and try to drive home. You know, it was fucking 90 degrees outside and I had the windows up, noid it out with the fucking heat on. And then pulled up to a motherfucking stop sign, wait for it to change green like it was a goddamn light, you know what I mean? Caught myself and started laughing for 20 minutes about it before I got home. Fell in the bathtub and busted the back of my head on a fucking soap dish and laughed about that. But I had a great time though. Like, you know what I'm saying? The guys I was around, it was pretty wild. But I'll be honest, when I did look back at it though, I do remember a point in time while tripping, I guess you want to say, we was out on the back deck and looking up at the fucking stars and shit. And it was just imagining, I guess, feeling small, feeling real small for a minute, and how huge this, this universe really is. And how, you know what? We don't really matter. We have a time period, we come and we go. And that's it. The same way that the fucking plant grows and it dies, it has its time, and, you know, that's how I felt. We only got a time period. And what a good time I was having, at that moment. But it also made me think about some other deeper shit later on after I came down off the trip and everything wore off and my wife stopped being pissed at me because of the condition I came in. My father, you ain't supposed to be coming in here like that. At the time, I had the 3 little ones. We living out in the projects and shit. I'm working $9 an hour on some, loading truck style shit. It was like, excuse me, just trying to figure out who I was at the time, I guess, I guess my point to the whole thing about the Joe Rogan joint was I listened and I watched the whole video. The shit was like 15 minutes long. And, knowing because I did trip off a couple times before was like, wow. I remember back to them periods and I was like, you know what? This motherfucker might be on to something here. Because I noticed when I did trip, I wasn't feeling no hatred, no anger. I actually felt like I was a part of something. Like something inside of me was opened up, to a bigger picture. Hallucinogenics, crazy shit, right? It's probably what got my brain fried the fuck out, why it made me talk crazy on a video now. But some of y'all may be able to identify with it. Who's this motherfucker? Dude is drunk as fuck. Wow. Well, I guess he's having a good time. He'll be alright. You'll make it, buddy. But anyway, that's my first little video. Like I said, it wasn't really nothing about anything. It was just my little thought on something. Or a whole lot of things. Maybe it'll drunk dude pulled a skate. Listen, I just came out this little spot, grabbed me a sandwich and shit real quick. This fucking white boy just got out the car, already walking like he was drunk and intoxicated, went to the trunk, pulled out a motherfucking skateboard, seen a nice curb over here and decided that he gonna go grind on some shit. You know what? That's living. That's living where at 9:25 at night, I called off work. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't no work there. I called off motherfucking work, came down here to get me a sandwich. I had my mind frame on some other shit because some other things transpired too. We'll get onto that on a different video. To be able to see a intoxicated motherfucker just come up and start grinding on a curb, dude. Like, this is some shit here. But you know what? I envy him. I actually do. Not the fact that maybe he's not intoxicated. Maybe that's just the way that he moves. You know what I'm saying? Some people just got that type of movement to him. I know this motherfucker's doing all types of crazy tricks on his skateboard right now. And you know what? That's what's up. Maybe he's feeling free right now. You see, in the beginning when I first started talking about him, how even the way I described him already came off judgmental. This is what I mean about the imperfections, and we'll talk about this later in a person where how we can just look at something and judge it real fast. And all this dude is doing is being free. So, I'll holla at y'all. Peace.